Hello everyone, Pete here, and here are the best settings for one of the biggest games of 2026 in Resident Evil Requiem on the Xboxally and AllyX, which also works for the ROG Ally and AllyX, to go from around 39 FPS on the default settings to an absolutely incredible 93 FPS and even into the 100s for an incredible gameplay experience. You know I hate long intros, so let's get into it. So I'm doing this here on the Xboxallyx, but these settings will of course work with the Xboxally, ROG Ally and AllyX, and indeed all other PC gaming handhelds like the Legion Go as well. As we get started here, let's head into our Army Crate settings, into the performance area, go to the GPU settings area on the left. On the ROG Ally and AllyX, you may want to keep this at 8G, but here on the Xboxallyx, we can increase this to 10G, which will require a restart. After our Ally has restarted, here in the Xbox store, it's a shame that Requiem isn't a Play Anywhere game. Heck, we can't even buy it on the Xbox PC store for some reason. So heading into the Steam store where it's £60 here in the UK, I'm just going to purchase it, and when it's in our Steam game library we can install it, and it will take some time as it's a pretty hefty game, coming in at just under 80GB. When it's installed, I'm doing this in the optimized version of the Xbox full screen experience, complete with the super ugly Steam artwork. Come on Microsoft, sort this out ASAP. We can launch our game and our shaders will take about 10 minutes to compile. When this is done, I'm going to select prioritize performance as I'm after smoother gameplay. Hit yes to change our graphics settings to this. It will measure our Ally's hardware, start a new game, have a cool intro cutscene, and we're into our game. I'm going to select the ROG real-time monitor, then select 35 watts plugged in turbo mode, and we're getting into the high 60s FPS, which is super smooth and feels great to play, but I don't know how well that this is coming across in this YouTube video, but the graphical fidelity is pretty subpar. These default settings on the performance setting have definitely taken a huge hit, and they definitely do not look great at 1080p. Let's unplug so we're on 25 watts turbo unplugged. We're still around that 67 FPS mark, but yeah, as I say, while it's smooth for me, the graphics just aren't where I'd like them to be to really fully enjoy this game. If we drop down to the 17 watts performance mode, then it's great to see the FPS is still holding up in those high 60s FPS, but especially in this outdoor street area with lots of detail and character models, the lack of crispness really loses the immersiveness for me, and I really would not recommend playing on these settings. So let's quit the game and return to the main settings, head into the graphics area, then press the right trigger button to enter the image area, head down to the quality settings and change the graphics, upscaling and lighting and shadow qualities from low all the way to high. So we're here on the 25 watts unplugged turbo, and yes, the graphical fidelity is so much better. This is the level of detail we really need to be immersed in Requiem. As well, our FPS has taken a huge hit into the mid 30s and low 40s. The crispness in stuff like the billboards and also the posters stuck on the wall is amazing. Dropping down to the 17 watts performance mode, the FPS does drop slightly to the middle 30s in this more demanding street area, and we actually do get a nice bump into the low 50s where there's no NPCs around in an outdoor area. And as the game starts to get its first feeling of real creepiness indoors, it manages to stay around that low 50s FPS mark, which is great, but I know that we can tweak settings to make this game so much more enjoyable. So let's quit back into the main menu, into the game's graphics tab. Let's keep it on borderless window. I'm going to turn VSync to off, then head into the image section. I'm going to keep on 1080p resolution, but feel free to drop down to 900p for more FPS. Change the frame to up to 120 FPS. Keep motion blur on or off, whichever that you prefer. Leave ray tracing off, but you can turn on if you don't mind the hit to FPS. I'm going to turn hair strands to on for more immersion, but feel free to leave this off for more FPS. Keep all three quality settings on high. Change texture quality to normal. Change texture filter quality from x8 to x16. Change mesh quality from standard to low. Keep screen space reflections to on. Change subsurface scattering from high to off. Turn lens distortion to off. Change depth of field to off. Change scaling technology from FSR1 to the latest FSR 3.1.5. Then change the scaling mode from native AA to balanced. If you don't want frame gen, then you can keep this off, but I'm going to turn it on to FSR 3. Change volumetric fog resolution from high to normal. Turn lens dirt to off. change lens flare to off, change shadow quality to low, change ambient occlusion to normal, and change VFX quality to low, then press the B button to back out and save our changes. So back in the game at 25 watts turbo mode. Wow guys, check this out. We're now hitting the 90s and even breaking into the 100s FPS in this busy street level. This is insane. The smoothness and level of detail now is unreal. These painters here on the left, if you do remember, on the default settings was around 40 FPS. And now with our new best settings, it's now into the 100s FPS, while still retaining that great graphical fidelity. Wow, I'm just blown away. Let's see what happens when we drop to the 17 watts performance mode. And we're in the 70s and even hitting the 80s at points. This is so awesome. Here still at 17 watts performance. We're now in the mid 80s. Regular viewers of the channel know that I'm a huge fan of the new performance gains of the new Z2 chip at this 17 watts performance mode. And if battery life isn't a concern and we do want to bump up to the 25 watts turbo mode, then again we jump into the 100s FPS for a super smooth and slick gameplay experience. And still on 25 watts in the super creepy indoor sections, we're now almost at our max 120 FPS. And dropping down to 17 watts, we are still in that high 90s as we roam around this kitchen area. And as we enter the even creepier burnt out area, I had to double check that we're still on 17 watts, as we're now in that high 90s FPS. And this is how I recommend us to fully enjoy the awesome game that is Resident Evil Requiem. My next video will be to see whether Requiem is a more enjoyable experience on the Xboxallyx or the Steam Deck OLED. So be sure to like and get subscribed, as you do not want to miss that one, I promise you. I'd love to hear what you think about Resident Evil Requiem so far, and also share any of your settings, tweaks and suggestions below in the comments. Huge thanks to everyone who voted on yesterday's community poll here on the channel, where a whopping 79% of you awesome viewers requested this video. You guys are the best. Also, a massive thanks to the awesome ROG Ally Life website for their excellent written guide on this. They have hundreds of amazing best setting written guides, so please do check them out, and I'll leave a link below in the comments. And as I thank you for watching this far, I'd love to share this awesome quote. If they don't involve you, don't get involved. If they don't tell you, don't ask. If they don't invite you, don't go. Know your position in people's lives. Oh my goodness, yes, we can avoid so much stress by just keeping to ourselves. There's nothing worse than going to a party or some place where we're not welcome or wanted by certain family, friends or work colleagues. So let's do our best to avoid this kind of stress, and so stay encouraged today guys. And as an extra bonus treat for staying right to the end, here's our gorgeous rescue cat, and her name is Pancake. The Ally just got some important updates, and to find out all of the key info about them, then click right here. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.